Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. There we go. Here we go. Let's get it. What is the last thing that you created? Wait. Before you answer that, everybody, repeat with me. We are all creators. Every day from birth, we create our views of the world. Similar to the way that painters have a palette, similar to the way that similar to the ways that painters have a palette of colors. What's the last thing you created? Uh, Before you guys tell me, repeat after me. We are all creators. We are all creators. Every day from birth, we create our view of the world, similar to the way that they blend to create masterpieces. Each of us has one of those too. Our own palette, our perception palette, as I call it. And as we go through life, we add on experiences to our. And while their palettes begin neatly arranged, they eventually become a medley of madness, colors mixed into different shades and different hues. And they're works that are going to go into, like the Smithsonian, the Louvre, Beyonce house. Y'all got Basquiat's in our houses. Yeah. And ours is going to go in something just as important, and that's our Memories Museum. So I wanted to do a big art project, but y'all know budgets be budgeting and all of that. And we don't really need to do that. We don't really need paint. We can use our imagination. So let's imagine our mind as a blank canvas, right? And we're going to paint this canvas throughout our lifetime. And instead of colors, we're going to use our experiences. We're going to use our emotions. We're going to use our senses. We're going to be hearing, smelling, tasting, seeing, and touching our way through our experiences and painting our unique perceptions of the world. Now, let me ask you something. When somebody asks you, what do you think? What's your immediate response? If you're like me, your mind, it just starts to race like into a whirlwind of thoughts. I think about everything from being a child going to the store to hating art classes when I was young, memories created here at the university. And now I be getting flued out to take pictures of people all over the world, capturing memories, love, and life. All of these things that contribute to my personal perception palette. So let's consider our childhood as like we'll start with on our canvas. Basic teachings. As a child, you don't really have much nuance. Nuance is such a great word. Rarely gets used in a sentence though. But you don't really have that. Simply, when you're a child, you think everything is, good or bad or right or wrong. Black and white. Not very much nuance. And remember going to the store when you were a kid and you would get that talk, that warning talk, as I call it, that nothing talk, maybe the one that says, when we go in the store, don't touch nothing, don't ask for nothing, because you're not getting nothing. But you're a child. You don't care about none of that. You're gonna keep it positive. Children don't even subscribe to the concept of no. Their curiosity is the thing that makes them special. As a kid, like I said, you're gonna keep it positive. Again, you're gonna be relentless in your search for joy. You're gonna be asking for toys from the time you walk into the store to last minute. You're gonna be please, 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 and begging for something before you leave. And finally, and damn near begging for something, anything before you leave that store. Yes, please, get something. Man, that was a great feeling, right? And that was a thing that you throw onto your palate that, maybe if I keep my eyes on the prize, maybe if I'm a little more persistent, maybe if I just keep it positive, I might actually get that thing that I've been asking for. And as we grow older, we start applying these things, and then we start to think that we know a little bit, right? We start to maybe go against our parents' approval. Like when you start to be able to dress yourself, when you start to be able to pick out your own clothes, pick out your own friends, pick out your own activities. All of this stuff was add colors to your stay up late, to your best friend, or around that time where you would hear like, think you grown. And secretly, we all did think that we were grown. And sidebar, is completely ghetto, right? Overrated, would not recommend. A little spicy, right? It made you feel good being able to add your own color to black and white teaching. Wait, never mind. It was a little spicy, right? It made you feel good being able to add your own colors to those black and white teachings that you learned before. A little aggressive, maybe with your decision making, like I was. That art class that I hated. I actually only hated it because I hated my own work. I had a negative perception of it for whatever reason, but I hated the work. I never turned in any of the work, so I failed that art class. I think about that often. My perception changed very quickly because that was not a good Christmas that year. I did anyway. I took control of my perception. I no. So what did I do? So what did I do? So what do I do? Do I do better work? Take less art classes? Realistically, I just got over myself and stopped being negative about the things that I created with my own hands. Maybe have a little bit more of a positive outlook on the things that I was making. I think I still have a little bit of trauma because of that art thing since I still do it now. My perception, like I said, has completely changed. But again, I just needed to add some more experiences, more colors onto my palette. But you guys are becoming young adults. Of course, you know it all. You guys are becoming young adults. Of course, you know it all. But did you know that your perceptions are fundamentally flawed? Our brains are really kind of operating on autocorrect. And when you haven't had an experience yet, you just try to like make it make sense. You remember that time, that first time that you told somebody that you were going to college, or more specifically, when you told somebody that you were coming to Prairie View? Remember their Do you remember their responses? Do you remember their perceptions? There were some informed ones, of course, but the negative ones typically came from people who never been enrolled at this place, but just heard whatever they heard from somebody else that's probably never been. My first day at PV, I was terrified. It was movie-in day. I was only terrified because I didn't want my roommates to know each other. I didn't want to end up being like a third wheel. They was gonna have inside jokes, and they was, gonna be able to go ride back to, go back home together for the weekends and things like that. Well, whatever. None of that happened. The first day, that, yeah. So, what am I saying? Uh, from some more people that ain't never been enrolled here. Then people be saying, people that just be saying anything. And then you get here. My first day at PV, I remember being afraid on the way to Prairie View. My first day at Prairie View was movie-in day, and I was just like, oh man, I hope my roommates don't know each other. I don't want to be like a third wheel. I don't want it to be weird. Of course, when I get there, My roommates are already there. They know each other. They're friends and cousins. And immediately we prayed over each other. Later that evening, they asked me if I wanted to hang out with them, immediately changing a couple of the perceptions that I had from those people that didn't know what they were talking about. They asked me, did I want to go watch the band practice? And I'm thinking like, wow, my first day at college, we're gonna go watch the band practice. Is this is this a thing? I don't know. You know, I'm new here. Anyway, I'm open to it. We go watch the band play. And I'm perplexed. I'm amazed. I had heard the band before, but I hadn't really seen the band before. I had heard all about the Marching Storm, but never seen them up close and personal doing what they do before the games that we all see and enjoy. They band. I was amazed because when I was in high school, my band didn't band like this band. So I'm instantly perception change, blown away. I love it here. So of course after that, you know, classes start. You start to meet. Where's it at? Classes start. You start meeting people from different places, different backgrounds, thinking differently than I did. First hump day, figuring out what organizations to join, like becoming a student leader. Finally, the celebration as graduation. All the while wondering, like, why did those people say those things about Prairie View if they had never been here? And I was like, they were just seeing it wrong. They need to add more colors to their palette. Our perceptions are typically vastly different before, during, and after an experience. Those experiences all add colors and shades to our palette, though. So our brain, because it's constantly, subtly tricking us into thinking that everyone is seeing the world as we're seeing it, it makes us think that we're perceiving the world as it is when we're only with each other. We're asking people about food, about places to go, about professors to take. We're constantly seeking to add on to our own, without experiencing that thing sometimes. And we're asking others their views, and we're receiving them as a reminder that we might not all be seeing everything the same way. Sometimes you might have to throw some colors onto your boring friend palette, the one that don't ever want to try nothing. Tell them, man, add some colors to your palette, man. Look at everything from everywhere, right? Cliche. Think outside of the box. And I think that as humans, we have a great responsibility, man. We have to question everything, question ourselves, question our perspectives, question the old perspectives, question traditions, have an obligation to look at everything from everywhere, consider everybody. And that's kind of what I do. Like, I look at everything from everywhere. In my real life, my friends call it Dixon logic. And it's not so much that I'm playing devil's advocate, but I am, but only an angel. And as a photographer, I meet tons of people. Perfect line of work for my personality. It's exciting speaking with different people from different cultures and lifestyles. You literally be amazed at how much you can learn from somebody in about 30 minutes. I think experience in life is like it's a gateway drug. And the more experiences you have, the more experiences that you want. The more diverse your palette becomes. Sorry, the more diverse your palette becomes, the more diverse you become. So think about when you're on vacation, and as soon as you get on vacation, you start trying to get out of your comfort zone. You start engaging in conversations with people who you might not even talk to, right? Like you challenge your own perceptions, your perspectives. You pursue things that might challenge your fears. Being able to, you know, relax a little bit, kick your feet up, be a little carefree like that same kid that was in the store. When you're on vacation, you live in fully in color, right? And it's fairly apparent because as soon as you get back from vacation, you be like, "Oh my God, take me back." Everybody wants to go right back on vacation. Think about that. And I think that too. I think that life should be on vacation. I think that We're trying to paint bold, vibrant strokes every single day, but the boldest ones that we have are on vacation. Opposed to the black and white ones we learned as a kid, but we still need to honor that kid that we were. We still want those that joy that we had. We want to explore our curiosities, go on adventures, and then getting back from vacation, you just going back, through your day to day. There's no real end in sight. Just boring brushstrokes on your canvas. But remember, life is about the extremes and everything in between. In the end, those brushstrokes, those day-to-day activities that seem boring, are just as important as the bold ones that we were creating when we went on vacation and we were pushing our perspective. Just as important as just as important when we were on vacation or that kid in the store or when we were, on the phone talking to that weird crush. So while we go through our day to day, we constantly perceiving the who, what, when, where, why, how of things. While we do that, we have to intentionally experience our lives boldly, take it all in, push it a little bit. We got to appreciate all the colors that we've already created and still know that there are more colors, more shades, more nuance to add to our palette. And as we journey through our lives, sometimes we forget that that's all it is, just a journey, a series of experiences, a series of brushstrokes on this canvas. The crazy thing about it is that, repeat after me, we are all creators. We are all creators in the game of. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to paint until the very end.